This is the story of a PowerPoint slide that actually helped kill 7 people. I'm not using figurative language. I'm not talking about, sitting through a boring presentation where the presenter just drones on and you feel like you're gonna die. No, this is the story of a PowerPoint slide that actually helped kill 7 people.
The date, January 16th, 2003. The Space Shuttle Columbia launches. Their mission? To study the effects of microgravity on the human body and on ants and spiders. The launch proceeded as normal. The crew made it to space. They would spend 16 days in orbit. Meanwhile, back on Earth, as a matter of protocol, NASA reviewed footage of the launch, and they found something. 82 seconds in, a piece of spray-on foam insulation, we'll call it SOFI, fell from one of the ramps that attaches the shuttle to its external fuel tank. This piece of foam collided with one of the tiles on the outer edge of the shuttle's left wing. Now, NASA didn't know if SOFI damaged the shuttle, and it was actually impossible to tell from Earth how much damage this foam, falling 9 times faster than a fired bullet, could cause to a wing. In space, the shuttle was safe, but NASA didn't know if it could respond or protect the shuttle during re-entry. So they asked Boeing engineers to come up with a solution. There was data showing that the tiles on the shuttle could tolerate being hit by foam and survive re-entry, but that was based on test conditions using foam more than 600 times smaller than the foam piece that had struck the Columbia. Now, this is the slide that engineers chose to illustrate that point, that their test data was inadequate. Do you see it? Yeah, neither did I. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but this slide is overwhelming. Now, it's almost impossible to tell what these engineers recommended. I mean, the data was outside of their test database. But what does that mean? What do they recommend? Well, NASA didn't know either, so they decided to go ahead with re-entry. And on February 1st, just before 9 a.m., well over 6,100 meters above Dallas, and at 18 times the speed of sound, temperature readings on the shuttle's left wing were abnormally high. Then all readings stopped. At 9:12, ground control heard reports from residents near Dallas that the shuttle had been seen disintegrating. Columbia was lost. The cause of the accident became clear immediately. There was a hole in the tile on the left wing, caused by the SOFI that hit it at launch. It overheated, and the shuttle disintegrated. How could this have happened? Why had NASA proceeded with re-entry? Didn't they have a team of engineers whose job it was to prevent this? When NASA hired an independent researcher to figure out what happened with their report, a Yale professor found that this slide had a misleadingly reassuring title, claiming that test data pointed to the tile being able to withstand the foam strike. As we know, that was not the case. Boeing's message was lost almost immediately. Next, the slide contains 4 different bullet points with no explanation of what they mean. Interpretation is left up to the reader. Is number 1 the main bullet point? Do the bullet points become less important or more? In the middle, it does say that it's possible for the foam to damage the tile, but this fact's in the smallest font. There's a lot of text as well, and some vague terms are used. Like the word sufficient, it's used once, but significant or significantly is used 5 times, with no quantifiable data. Like, how much is significant? The single most important fact, that the foam strike had occurred at forces massively out of their test conditions, well, that's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, but I know, right? We all want to type text on screen so that we could teach our audience something. We want the audience to pick up information so they can learn about our topic. But as we saw, when lives were on the line, it doesn't work. Imagine if the engineers had just put up this slide. Foam strike more than 600 times bigger than our test data. We don't know what to do. It's probably not safe. Maybe NASA wouldn't have attempted re-entry. All right, so what have we learned? Next time you're asked to give a talk, remember the Columbia. Don't just jump onto your laptop and write out slides of text. Think about your message, and don't let that message be lost. Folks, death by PowerPoint is a real thing.